Hi everyone, thought I'd just make a little video here showing you guys my home simulator setup. Just got it up and running at the moment, sitting on the runway at Rotorua in New Zealand. It's raining at the moment, but the sim is it was a Fletcher FU-24 top dressing aircraft that I managed to get hold of at the front end. Cockpit area, so it's been chopped off the back, and obviously the front's been chopped off, but still got the screen and all the controls and stuff were left in there, so I've managed to get all those wired up and going. It's all been painted up. That there. In my little room here, which is all painted black, windows are blacked out, and then once you got the lights turned out, you sort of pretty much see nothing else around apart from the view out the window. The screens in the front are three 42-inch LCD TVs, 1920 by 1080. For the view. And those three TVs are running off under here, one computer under there, which is running Prepare 3D. Okay, so that's running a NVIDIA 950 Ti graphics card, and you can see there we're getting, it's got a set to 30 frames per second, and we're sort of averaging 29.78 with the three screens running, even with the rain, so it's not too bad. This side here, this monitor here is actually off the computer, separate computer that actually runs the sim. That's another instance of Prepare 3D running, and they're both at the moment running in a multiplayer environment. So this one's hosting the multiplayer, and this one's just paired up through a direct connection and just for the view only. So with the multiplayer environment running, linked up, sharing the aircraft, basically the view from this one still shows the engine shut down, and when you do a startup on that one, it all starts up on the through the multiplayer. And down in the front of the thing there, that's the computer running the actual sim, and everything's, all the switches and Arduinos and everything's running off that computer. Bit of a mess of wiring, but that computer's not so grunty. It's just an ATI, I think it's 7500 series graphics card, just an i5. Doesn't have to be, it's super grunty. All the graphics in it are wound right down, so it runs a bit fast, and that's still holding 30 frames per second, even running everything as well. So it all seems to run pretty good. There's a slight delay through the multiplayer, but I think that's a bit of a bug that I think Lockheed Martin are going to hopefully sort out at some stage, because it's, looking at the forums, everyone seems to have the problem, just a slight delay. But when you're actually flying, you don't actually really notice it too much, because this is the only one you're looking at, so you only see the delay if you compare the two screens together, which you're generally looking out the front window, so you don't actually notice it. So yeah, and then there's a LCD screen obviously behind the overlay for the panel down here, and that's running Sim Plugins panel builder by the network. And then behind the curtain down here, you can see there's another computer there. There's a computer down there, and that's just an older PC I built up actually. I just had some bits and pieces and parts I had left over, and that doesn't have to be very grunty at all to run the Sim plugins for all the gauges and stuff. That's just running through the network. Just takes a bit of the load off the main PC, and it runs really well. And all these gauges you can move around to whatever you needed to fill in the holes. And you can also hit different profiles. So at the moment I've got an IFR profile set up, so you can do full single pilot IFR. But you can also open up a profile which is just a real basic VFR style profile with some more basic navigation gauges, and you can even still go out and do a bit of top dressing with that later if you like. Yeah, that's quite cool. Bit of crop dusting. But at the moment it's set up for the IFR, and that's pretty much what we do. You log in online on VATSIM, and it works really, really well. So everything here, like the original throttle and stuff, is all linked up through its original cables and runs down around here under this little dicky seat, which I'll just take out. This is the original dicky seat that the loader driver used to have to sit in. And then down there we've got just a Cytec throttle, Cessna throttle quadrant, and it's just had the little black, blue and red knobs unscrewed, and then I've made these little adapters which these cables then link up to. These switches just do nothing at the moment. I just wanted to utilise the throttle quadrant. So if I run the throttle here forward, and you look down here, see that running. So real simple setup, but just utilising all the original cables and stuff. Just run under there, and it works really well. Flaps lever down here, that all works. Original cables. The control stick here, see it all works through pulleys and cables like even the original. Okay, and it works. A trim switch here, and then on the front there we've got a PTT push to talk when you're on the VATSIM. Running through some of the other gauges, we've got a switch panel here, got our instrument lights, they can be dimmed, GPS nav switch, we've got a test switch for our horn and warning lights, they come on there. We can have the horn off, or we can have the horn loud. That's the test. And then master caution button, which you can push, and whatever's going, like these here, got oil pressure and fuel pressure are flashing at the moment because we're not running, so it's detected that we've got low oil and fuel pressure, which is doing what it's supposed to. And just running through our other gauges here, we've got our this slave to VOR2, like an old style HSI, just so you can navigate on VOR2 for navigating without the GPS. Airspeed indicator. It's obviously the engine's not running, so that's the horizontal is just synced off, which is pretty normal. Altitude. I've got all these buttons and all work. You can see that all working there. The compass, fuel, left and right tanks, fuel pressure, got a rate out. You can see that rate out knob there works. Vertical speed, battery, engine oil and pressure. Recent minutes, got an N1 there, ITT and torque, got an RMI and the VO1 slaves in there, so the yellow is the RMI and the VO1 is the green. Okay, got a slip indicator here, and then we've got a digital style HSI which is turned off there at the moment. So if we turn on the battery, the avionics, it comes to life, and also a Garmin GTN 750 touchscreen fires up into life there. See it starting up. Okay. Up here we've got an autopilot control. Down here we've got a comms for audio control unit. This GTN 750 overlay here is, I've made that myself, my own home-built CNC machine. So that's all cut out of acrylic. You can see it there. All profile on, there's a little dummy SD card. It's all nice and pretty close to the real thing as we could. And it's all touchscreen, so continue there, continue, and it all comes up just like the real thing. It measures there. Okay, go to our map, and there we are, sitting at Rotorua. Okay, goes back there, go to the map, direct to button comes up, cancel, home button, go back to the home screen. Okay, these two knobs here are on the original GTN. There's a dual encoder here which you can do the comm and the nav. The comm and nav up here, and you'd normally have a dual encoder, so you'd do the hole in the lower increments, and then you can push it and it'll swap over to the nav. I'm limited in space behind the thing, and it's really hard and expensive to get the dual encoders, so I've just added a comm one on this side and a nav one on this side. So I haven't got this wired up here, but when they do wire up, you can change the comm frequency. You will be able to change the comm frequency in this one, push it in and do the whole frequency, push it in to do the lower, and then the same on this side for the nav. But you can still do it, like this. What do you want to do? Okay, so it all works touchscreen. It works really, really well. Got your transponder there, you can change. 1, 2, 3, 5, whatever you need to do. Okay. The only the touchscreen that I already had was a little bit bigger than the standard. You can see there's the bottom of the standard GTN is there. So this here would be a little bit shorter, the whole thing. But I wanted to fit the screen, didn't want to waste the screen, so I made it a little bit longer. And at the bottom here I've just added a little display for the nav lights, landing lights, strobe, and pitot and such, some wind direction, outside temperature, and the flaps indicator. So I didn't want to waste the space, but they basically, if you turn on the strobe lights, see it's gone green, so they've indicating that they're on, and you just know that they're on. Same with the pitot on, bang. And but it still actually blends in quite well with the GTN. It sort of adds a bit of extra real estate screen wise, so it's really well. I've got a handbrake down here, turn in, handbrake's off, yeah, handbrake's on. Okay, I'll just turn on that, save some battery. And down there I've just got the original pedals didn't come with it, and they would have been pretty hard to wire up, so I've just got ZK-CKA rudder pedals there, USB ones, rudders and brakes. Okay, well, down here I've just got a, it's going to use this as a backup, but I'm going to mount this and break it on the side there. It's the ZK-CKA comm and nav radio panel. I'll just make it, break it up to screw that on to make it look good, tied up the wire, and that'll just be like a backup radio. Okay, all the wiring and stuff's kind of exposed down here. You can see just like the real thing, the wires and stuff normally in the way. Okay, it's got an old cell phone there that just uses a GPS through, turn that off, good, through the MoveMap 2 Pro on there. Yeah, sitting on the runway at Rotorua. On the back of the sim here is where all the controls are wired to, so it looks a bit sort of messy, but this will be covered up with the board and you won't actually see it. But all the wires from the control stick and that all run to these levers and pots, and they're all just wired into an old joystick that's just been pulled apart. Okay, all works on springs and bungees to get the right sort of feeling. But basically, if we run the stick there from side to side, see that? It's just pulling the lever across and operating the pot, which then runs on a little cog system, and that works really well. It's on wheels, so down here we can pop the little brake off, and if we need to we can wheel the whole thing out. Got these double doors, wheel the whole thing out and do any work on it that we need to. But yeah, so what I might do now is make another little video of just doing a full startup and maybe just taking off down the runway, show you guys how it works.